This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we are going to call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting November 6, 2023 at 5 p.m. Daryl, if I can have you call the roll, please.
Sure. Mr. Schlackler.
Here.
Mr. Levine.
Here.
Mr. Osterhout.
Here.
Ms. Coleman.
Here.
Thank you very much. Has everyone here had an opportunity to review the minutes from last month's meeting? If so, does anybody have a motion regarding that?
I move to approve. I'll second.
Tell if I can have you call the roll, please.
I'm sorry, who's second?
Second was Yuri.
Ms. Coleman.
Yes.
Mr. Osterhout.
Yes.
Mr. Levine.
Abstain?
And Mr. Schlackler.
Yes. Okay, before we get to old business, if you're going to provide any kind of testimony today, can I have you raise your right hand, please? You have a brief oath here.
And I don't know about me.
There's no promise you have to come up to speak, but there's a chance. Let's do it anyways. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right, thank you. We do have several pieces of old business related to 2939 and 2937 Stoneleigh Drive. However, those are going to remain in recess to our next meeting at the request of the applicant. So instead, we're going to move to new business. I'm going to read each of these at one time before we get our staff report. Yes. I want to acknowledge that we have our alternate Tony Malik now present. For new business, we have an exception and variance request relating to 3316 Moffett Road. We have an exception for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for the property located at 3316 Moffett Road. Parcel numbers 78-46981 and 78-46977. Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution Section 1703. As well as a variance request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for a rear setback from 35 feet required to 16 feet provided for the property located at 3316 Moffett Road, parcel numbers 78-46981 and 78-46977, Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution Section 700A. Daryl, if I can have you give the staff report, please.
Subject property at 3316 Moffett Road consists of a double lot on the east side of Moffett Road in Central Avenue Park residential subdivision. The property measures just less than a quarter acre. It was occupied by a 1.5-story single-family dwelling constructed in 1941. The property is zoned RA low-density residential. Single-family dwellings also zoned RA abut the subject property on all sides. Those to the north, east, and south are within the Central Avenue Park subdivision, while those to the west on the opposite side of Moffett Road are unplatted. The applicant desires to construct an addition onto the rear of the existing dwelling. Central Avenue Park plat was recorded in 1929 and the subject dwelling constructed in 1941. As these were prior to the enactment of zoning in Sylvania Township in 1956, the property is considered a legal non-conforming lot of record. Section 1703 of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution requires that a non-conforming building or structure shall not be enlarged, extended, altered, or moved without approval by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Thus, the applicant is requesting the BZA approve an exception to a non-conforming building. Section 700A of the zoning resolution dictates a minimum rear setback requirement of 35 feet for an RA zone parcel. The non-conforming subject dwelling is set back 28 feet from the rear property line. The attached two-car garage protrudes out 12 feet and is only 16 feet from the rear property line. Currently, a wooden deck exists on the rear of the dwelling. The rear edge of the deck is in line with the rear wall of the garage. The applicant wishes to construct an addition to the home in the place of the deck. It is requesting variance of 19 feet to the required rear setback in order to do so. The north wall of the addition would be in line with the north wall of the dwelling and meet the 10-foot side setback required in the RA zone district. Zoning staff recommends approval of the exception request for an addition to the legal non-conforming dwelling for the property at 3316 Moffett Road for the following two reasons. A Approval of this exception should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility or safety of the traveling public. Approval of this exception should not alter the intent of the Savannah Township zoning resolution. Secondly, zoning staff recommends approval of the request for a 19-foot variance to the minimum rear setback requirement in an A district from 35 feet required to 16 feet provided for the property located at 3316 Moffett Road for the following two reasons. Approval of this variance should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility and or safety of the traveling public. Approval of this variance should not alter the intent of the Savannah Township zoning resolution.
Thank you, Daryl. Does anybody on the board have any questions for Daryl based on his staff report?
Does it state anywhere in the application about the height of the addition?
I don't believe it does. I think the applicant is here this evening.
If you're able to come up, please, if you can sign in and then state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, Dan Kelso, 3316 Moffett.
Thank you.
It's gonna be, it would be even with the garage, the same height as the garage right now, and you can kind of see it in the photo, so it'll just come straight across.
So just under those windows?
Yeah.
Straight across?
6, maybe 8 to 9 feet high.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
While we have the applicant up, does anybody have any other questions for the applicant? Looks like none. Thank you. Unless you have anything else you would like to state about this. It's up to you.
Well, we just don't have a lot of living space in the downstairs, and we're hoping to get a hot tub in that room.
Okay.
My knees are killing me.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to add for the record,
Please.
as far as the height, we allow up to 45 feet.
Thank you.
Dwellings, so
Well within range.
they definitely go higher if they choose to do so.
Okay. Does anybody else who's present want to speak on this matter? Looks like no. Does anybody on the board need deliberative session? If not, we're going to take these one at a time. I'll make the initial motion. I'll make a motion for an exception for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for the property located at 3316 Moffett Road, parcel numbers 78-46981 and 78-46977, Savannah Township zoning resolutions 1703.
Second.
Thank you. Carol, if I can have you call the roll, please.
Mr. Osterhoff,
Yes.
Ms. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Mayo,
Yes.
Mr. Schwab,
Yes.
Mr. Levy.
Yes. Okay, do we have a motion for our second item?
I'll make a motion to approve a variance request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for a rear setback from 35 feet required to 16 feet provided for the property located at 3316 Moffett Road, parcel numbers 78-46981 and 78-46977, zoning, Savannah Township zoning resolution, section 700, subsection A.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Daryl, can I have you call the roll, please?
Mr. Schwab,
Yes.
Mr. Levy,
Yes.
Ms. Coleman,
Yes.
Mr. Osterhoff,
Yes.
and Mr. Mayo.
Yes.
Okay, both items have passed. You are ready to begin. We'll get you something from our office in the next 30 days so you have a record of this as well. Does anybody else have any other items for the agenda? Seeing none, right now we'll communicate with our applicant. It does not appear that we're going to have a December meeting, but we'll be informed if there is something that has to get onto the agenda. Given that the first Monday in January is January 1st, our next regularly scheduled meeting will be January 8th. If there's nothing else on the agenda, we will at least handle scheduling for the rest of the year and officers. If there's nothing else, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. And Daryl, if I had to call the roll one last time, please.
I'm sorry, just a second.
Tim seconded.
Mr. Levine?
Yes.
Mr. Osterno?
Yes.
Mr. Schlot?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
Yes, sorry.
Mr. Baker?
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned at 5:12. We're close for 200.